It's coming with my period and my Hogwarts letter. I can feel it. And that got me all the way to 6th grade when I met my friend Krista, and she was pretty and funny and smart and nice. And that's when I stopped believing in God. But so many of my friends said a version of this to me after my last breakup that I actually started to feel really guilty. Because you know what, DC? This is my dream job. I can't believe I'm filming my 3rd Netflix special tonight. I cannot believe it. I have been so insanely lucky in my career. And the more I thought about that, the more I was like, yeah, Taylor, nobody has every single thing going for them as a person. You have been so blessed. Be grateful for what you have. Focus on that. Nobody gets to have it all. And then I saw Hugh Jackman in person. And I was like, oh, I guess you can have it all, but there's none left because God gave it all to Hugh. Hugh Jackman is a perfect specimen of a human man. Seeing him in person was a religious experience. It changed me. It was like seeing the Grand Canyon. I think everyone should do it at least once before they die. He is a wonder of the world, that man. It was like seeing Niagara Falls. You can bring the whole family, you get a little wet, but it's fun. It was. Here's what happened. So about a year and a half ago, we were in New York City doing shows on tour, and we had an off night in between theater shows. So me and my buddy Dustin and his wife Melissa and a few of our other friends who are also happy went to go see The Music Man on Broadway, which was starring Hugh Jackman. Was it a good show? I don't know, but Hugh Jackman was there the whole time. They should have called the show, "We Got Hugh Jackman in a Room. Who Wants to See Him?" The show was great. At the end of the show, they're doing curtain calls. All the actors are taking their bows. One of the actors steps forward and goes, "You've come on a very special week, because tonight we're raising money for an amazing charity called Broadway Cares. And tonight, Hugh is going to sign the pair of gloves he wore in the show. And we're going to auction them off to the highest bidder." And I looked at my friends and I was like, I mean, I have money. And they were like, "Really? This is what you're going to spend the Netflix money on, huh?" And I was like, "Well, I don't have a family. There's no one else here, and I've already had braces. If I can't have it all, I'm going to have those gloves." Also, I just thought it would be hilarious as a bit, because everybody asks you when you get on television, they're like, "What'd you spend that money on? Did you buy a new jacket? Did you buy a new car?" And I'm like, how funny would it be if my first big TV purchase was a pair of sweaty gloves worn by Wolverine, right? It's like, what am I, a man? So dumb. So I start competing in the auction, and I'm doing pretty well, because I got nothing to lose and no one to live for. And I'm doing so well that it gets down to me and just two other bidders. It gets down to me, an older woman towards the front, and I kid you not, Jake from State Farm. That is 100% true, that detail, and I hesitate to include it because it makes the story sound like a dream I had once. He's like, "So in the dream, I'm trying to get Hugh Jackman's gloves, but then Jake from State Farm's there. He thinks he's gonna get them." I'm like, "Fat chance, commercial boy. Those gloves are mine." Then Flo from Progressive rides in on a horse for some reason. But whoops, who's that? Tony the Tiger pops a wheelie on his motorbike. All cash offer. Can't beat Tony. That's old money. So it is now down to me, this woman, and Jake. I think what happened next was, I think Jake could tell that me and this woman needed the win more than he did. So, like a good neighbor, State Farm backs out. It is now down to me and this woman. We are ping-ponging back and forth, back and forth. I think I blacked out for a minute, because when I came to, we were at a number that I've not agreed to pay since college. So exactly like college, I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm not gonna finish. As they're about to say, "Once, twice, sold," the woman in the front, Hugh Jackman, steps forward, stops the auctioneer, and goes, Before we end the auction, I just have to say, I am so moved by the generosity of tonight's audience. You know, I have 2 gloves. If I were to sign both of them, would these 2 ladies match each other's bid? And he looked right at me. Now, I've never paid for sex. But I did drop $7,000 on eye contact with Hugh Jackman. Thank you for clapping. That joke was expensive. They're like, don't worry, it's a tax write-off. I'm like, don't worry, I will make sure that it is. I wish I could tell you that the whole time I was like, it's for charity, but the truth is I completely forgot till the end. And even then I was like barely listening. I was too busy talking to the glove like, Hugh's fingers were inside you, what was that like? He's surprisingly gentle. I knew it. I love telling that story because I can always tell who grew up in church based on who starts laughing at, you know I have too. You're like, oh. DC, how we doing? How stupid was that? I came up from the floor like I'm a fucking Jonas brother. I know that was silly, and it was my idea. I was so embarrassed that I thought of that, but it was too late when we got here to change it because men with jobs had built it. And we're operating it very well, I might add. And I was just like, we could probably just scrap it, right? They're like, well, this is like a week of our lives. So I know that was dumb. Thank you for indulging me. How we doing, DC? Thank you. You want your partner to like your parents? You want them to walk out of that night going, oh my God. Your parents are just, I know. I mean, seriously, babe, how did you ever? I don't know. Kind of seems like maybe people should cut me some slack when I'm being a bitch, though, huh? Kind of seems like maybe now that we have all the information, turns out I could be a lot crazier if I wanted. But I keep a lid on it pretty good, and I deserve to stop at Target on the way home. With no time limit. And I want a cart, not a basket. You have to be careful when you introduce people to your parents, though, because your parents don't always show up as your parents, do they? Mine never did. My parents undermined me every single time I brought someone home to meet them. I did everything right. I did the huddle up in the car before we went in, like, hey, remember what I told you? Those people in there, they're not your friends. Whatever they say to you, do not take that personally. It's not about you, it's about them. Do you want to write that on your hand in case you forget? No? You can look at my tattoo if you get scared. Let's do it. And then you go inside prepared for your parents to show their true colors. And your parents float downstairs. And they're just amazing all night. They're like fun, cool, laid back. Your dad's in an open Hawaiian shirt. Just a one-man conga line, topping off drinks, saying all kinds of progressive shit you've never heard him say. You want another beer? We should golf sometime. What are your pronouns again? And you gotta get back in the car later muttering like a conspiracy theorist. Like, that was not, I was there and I know I have it and it was all right. And no one can tell me what didn't happen and I know where it is. While your boyfriend buckles up like, I don't know what you're talking about, babe. Your parents are awesome. And you're like, oh, no, they are not. I don't know who those lizard people were. But they are not the ones who broke me. And the next time you see your parents, they're all smug, like, Jason really seemed to like us. You're like, I know what you're doing. Oh, maybe your therapist wants to meet us next, get our side of the story. I cannot wait till you're in the ground. All right, well, we'd like to be cremated. I will scatter your ashes where God can't find them. Aliens, total strangers. I asked a couple in the front row of a show once, 2 couples therapists who had married each other, which I know, you ever see like quadruple stuffed Oreos and you're like, enough, right? That is a hat on a hat. It's excessive. But I was like, wow, 2 off-duty couples therapists. You gotta ask them, right? I said, do you guys have any advice for people in relationships, maybe people who are fighting a lot? And they said, we do. You know how a lot of people have a safe word to stop sex? Everyone needs to have a safe word during fights. So I asked a married friend of mine, I said, do you guys have a safe word for fights? And he was like, what? I'm like, it's a word that when you say it during the fight, it stops the fight. And he goes, oh yeah, we have one of those. I said, really? What is it? He goes, cunt. But I have to say it doesn't really work if she says it. I was like, Jesus, I was looking for like pineapple, dude, but... I used to ask people for relationship advice after breakups because I thought that was me working on myself, but it really wasn't. It was just me trying to figure out how to get into another relationship as quickly as possible so I wouldn't have to work on myself. The reason people don't want to be single for long periods of time is that once you're single for a little bit, you start to notice, ooh, some of the issues in my relationships are still here. And it's just me now. There's only one set of footprints in the sand. And no one's carrying my ass, right? Like, I've realized in the last year, I still have a lot to work on. I've realized I'm very petty in relationships. I realize that because I don't wear perfume when I'm single. Don't even think about it. I wear perfume when I'm in a relationship, though, because I know that if we break up and you smell that smell later, you'll get sad. And that makes me happy. I don't wear perfume to smell good. I wear it to haunt you later. I was on a first date with a guy. I realized we both had 3 younger siblings. I said, oh my God, let's text our sibling group chats right now. Ask them what our biggest flaw is. I'm so fun on a first date. I can't believe I'm alone. He texts his brothers, hey guys, what's my biggest flaw? And they write back, works too hard, cares too much. One of them wrote back dyslexic, which I thought was pretty funny. He couldn't read it, but I could. I text my siblings, hey guys, what's my biggest flaw? And my brother writes back immediately, probably that you expect everyone to hurt you, so you just leave before they can. I was like, dude, I'm on a date right now. He's like, oh, sorry, it works too hard. I thought this was a secure line. I'm a very emotional person. I'm a very emotional partner. I think I'm run by my emotions. Did you guys know that some people feel their feelings privately? Have you guys heard about this compartmentalizing bullshit? Some people apparently have these polite little feelings that shuffle up to them during the day, tug on their sleeve, like, hello, excuse me, I need to be felt as some picnic in the garden. Your mom took you for a picnic in the garden? Fuck you so hard. Are you serious? Your mom took you to a picnic in the garden to tell you the horrors of sex. I'm sorry, I'm having an emotional reaction to that. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. This secret garden sex talk. Holy shit, okay, wow. What's that like, Lorelai Gilmore? Fuck me. So you weren't asking questions or anything. Your mom was just like, it's time. Oh, you were asking questions. See, a lot of people ask questions, and I didn't realize all these kids were so smart. I didn't know we were supposed to be smarter. I never asked any questions when I was a kid, which is so stupid now that I think about it. Because when I was a kid, before I got my period, I had 3 holes, right? I still do. I don't know why I said it like that. I still do, for the record, just for anybody watching. I still always have had, always will have. I mean, I think when you get your tubes tied, do they seal it? Oh, I'm gonna Google it. Forget this. This was a tangent. I'll deal with this on my own. But before I got my period, I had 3 holes, and one of the holes wasn't doing anything, right? And I never thought to ask anyone around me, hey, what's this unemployed hole doing between my other 2 holes that are working pretty hard? I just walked around all day like, I don't know, that's my big one. God knows what he's doing. That's where my faith goes. After I saw Music Man, I started calling it my glove compartment, but that is another story. This was my sex talk. So when I was 10, I read what sex was in a book, not planning on it, just kind of like, oh my God, tried to forget. Just assaulted by Judy Blume, quite frankly. And then 2 years later, my dad was driving me home from school, and out of nowhere, he goes, do you know what sex is? And I was like, yeah, Dad, I read in a book. Let's never speak again, right? And he's like, all right, I need you to tell me what it is so I know that you know. My dad made me give him the sex talk. I was like, do you know what it is? He's like, why don't you just tell me what you know, and then I'll tell you what I know. And we'll get to the bottom of this together. I used to ask my parents for relationship advice every time I went through a bad breakup. Don't do that unless you want to learn too much about your parents. I had a terrible breakup in my early 20s, and I remember I was back home. My stepmom was trying to come